Welcome, intellectuals, to our today's lesson where we want to look at radioactivity and physics. This lesson will look at a number of things. Number one, we introduce what radioactivity is all about. Okay, two, we'll look at the things that are being emitted. Then, three, we're going to look at an element that undergoes. What is the name being given to an element that undergoes radioactivity? Then fourthly, we're going to look at what causes radioactivity. Then fifth, we're going to look at now some characteristics of these things that are being given out under radioactivity. So stick around and don't forget to share so that others can also benefit. Okay, so by definition, radioactivity is the random decay of the atomic nuclei by the emission of subatomic particles like alpha and beta or an electromagnetic wave. Okay, random decay, meaning you cannot predict which element will give out. It's random, you can't predict. Okay, at the same time, what decays? It's an atomic what? Nuclei. Keep those in mind. Okay, when you're giving a definition, make sure these things come out. And atomic nuclei, they should also be the word emission. Those are key words that you should not miss. Emission or radiation. Okay, emission of what? Some subatomic particles. The first two are particles. The last is not a particle. So the subatomic particles are alpha and beta or an electromagnetic wave. If an element gives out one of these, at least one of these, then it qualifies to fall under radioactivity. Okay. Now let us look at what causes radioactivity now. Okay, having looked at the introduction on what radioactivity is all about, remember I've said it's just about emission of certain particles like alpha and beta, or giving out an electromagnetic wave. Okay, now let us look at what causes this radioactivity. We're saying this is a natural radioactivity. Why are we saying it's natural? It's because some elements are able to give out energy of itself without any external excitation. So, how does that happen? You can ask. Without any external, we mean no chemical reaction, not because there's some changes in the environment in terms of temperature, nothing like that. They just decay because of internal excitation. Now, how does that happen? Let me take you back a bit to an atom. An atom, we all know that it's a very tiny particle, right? Now, let us look at one part on the atom, which is a nucleus. You can imagine if in this nucleus you have about 82 protons, okay? And protons are positive charges. What is the property about positive charges? When they come together, all like charges, when they come together, they repel. So there is force of repulsion. Now they are enclosed in this nucleus. Okay, as it repels from the other, it will fall on the other, it will repel. So the force of repulsion will be continuous. All right. Now, when there is that force of repulsion, there is collision. Collision brings in about the increase in terms of temperature. The movements will increase the temperature. Now, when that energy increases in the nucleus, it will reach to an extent that the nucleus will fail now to contain that energy. Hence, this element, for it to be stable, a nucleus now will have to decay, break. There's no any chemical reaction, but because of the protons that are repelling in the nucleus. So that is why we are calling it as natural radioactivity, because these matter, they radiate energy of itself without any external excitation. Let us go to the third thing, that is radioactive element. Now, an element that is able to undergo radioactivity, or an element which is able to give out alpha, beta, or electromagnetic wave, that element is called as a radioactive element. And that is why we're saying this is an element that undergoes decay. Are we getting it there? All right. That was the third thing. The fourth thing now is what elements or what are the radiations in this case? So the radiations here are three. So we have the first radiation, alpha, the second radiation is beta, the third radiation is electromagnetic wave. Having looked at the three radiations that take place under radioactivity, now we'll look at their properties. Okay, each one of these will have its own properties. So let us explain one by one on the properties. We'll start with the alpha particle. This is the symbol here. So the first characteristic in each here in our lesson today, we'll look at three characteristics. Of course, there are a lot. So we'll look at those other characteristics in the next lesson. In our today's lesson, we'll look at three. That is their nature, the charge, and the ionizing power. So the nature, we'll start with alpha particle. So an alpha particle is a helium in nature. So what it looks like, okay, it is in a form of a helium. That is what an alpha is. Okay, it is in a form of a helium. So if a question comes, what is the nature of alpha? You should know that alpha is a helium in a nature. That is number one property under alpha. Number two, we'll look at the charge. It has a positive charge. So an alpha has a +2. So in terms of charge, an alpha is positively charged. Okay? Then before we talk about ionizing power for alpha, I want us just to understand what ionizing means. To ionize means to form ions. Okay, ions can be formed in different ways. Either an element gives out electrons or maybe it receives electrons, okay, or gaining electrons. Now, in this case, alpha, beta, and electromagnetic waves, these they do not gain or receive electrons. They just knock out electrons. So in this case, when we talk about their ionizing power, we mean the strength or the energy they have to knock out electrons on the atoms when they pass through matter. So whenever they pass through matter, even passing through my flesh, so what will happen is they will target the atoms. In that case, they will knock out the electrons. No wonder they are causing those effects. All right. So we'll look at, in this case, let us start with alpha. We're saying strong ionizing power. So what it means there is that alpha has a lot of energy when it passes through matter, when it penetrates through matter. It has a lot of strength to knock out a lot of electrons and to leave out a number of ions behind. Are you getting? No wonder we're saying it has a strong ionizing power. So, I mean, alpha can form a lot of ions when it passes through flesh, okay, when it passes through matter. Then let's go to beta particle. A beta, unlike alpha, which is a helium in nature, beta is an electron. Now, what type of an electron? A fast-moving electron. That is the nature of a beta particle. Then when it comes to charge, electrons are what? Negatively charged. So a beta particle is negative. It has a negative charge. Then when we come to ionizing power, alpha is the strongest. Then this is weak compared to alpha. Okay? So this will make less ions behind once it penetrates through matter, or it will knock out less electrons compared to alpha. Then when we come to gamma ray, by the way, this is not a particle. So the only particles are alpha and beta. Gamma is not a particle. So in nature, this is an electromagnetic wave. Okay? It's an energy. Okay? So this has no charge. When it comes to charge, we are saying this is a neutral charge. So it has a neutral charge or zero charge, in other words. Then when it comes to ionizing power, this is the weakest among the three. The weakest, meaning it makes less ions. It knocks out less electrons compared to all the three. No wonder we're saying in terms of ionizing power, it is very weak. So join me in the next lesson where we'll look at now other properties like the penetrating power. What can stop these materials not to cause any damage? Or the storage, in other words. At what distance can they travel? We'll look at all those. And we'll also look at how they get affected when they pass through electric field or magnetic field. So don't miss the next lesson and make sure you share this one so that others can also benefit.